Now I'm going to walk you through the PRD that I wrote for an alarm clock app. The problem is users don't always wake up at the right time. They have a need for something to wake up or alert them when it's time to get up in the morning. Another challenge that users run into is that wake-up times might vary based on day of the week. For example, many users will wake up at a different time during the week compared to the weekend. For this specific example, I've also decided to focus the problem on alarms for waking up. Even though there are many other times when users might need alarms, this will allow us to start with a more focused feature set. And it won't prevent us from expanding to other use cases in the future. For goals, we want to make sure that users wake up on time. And we'll measure this by the number of times alarms go off. The premise here is that if our product is not meeting our users' goals, they'll stop using it. Potentially, we could also do something fancier, like looking at if the phone is moved after 1, 2, 5, or 10 minutes after the time when an alarm goes off. We also want users to have the ability to set different alarms based on their schedule. We'll measure this by the number of unique alarms created and the number of edits made to alarms. The premise is that users won't need to edit existing alarms. Instead, they can create different alarms based on factors like day of week. And here are some of the features that I think will be most critical. The ability to have alarms based on day of week. Support for at least 10 alarms. Having the ability to manage your alarms. This means editing and deleting existing alarms. Making sure that the alarm goes off at the right time. The ability to snooze an active alarm. And the ability to turn off an active alarm. There's also a few more features that I think would be good to have, such as a customizable alarm tone, an alarm that gradually increases in volume over time, and the ability to automatically create alarms, a specified amount of time before the first event on a user's calendar, and the ability to have a silent alarm that vibrates only. These P1 features add value and enhance the experience of the alarm. Potentially auto alarms is something that could be a P0 if we believe that it would be a strong differentiator of our alarm clock app when compared to others and would provide significant value to users. This is something that we'd want to test and explore more. These are all still very high-level requirements, and as I start working with a team, each of these features should be expanded to capture more detail about what it should do. But this is a really good place to start the conversation. Let's talk a little bit about some of the assumptions that I made. For this product, I'm assuming that the user's phone will be powered on, meaning that if the phone is powered off or the battery's dead, that the alarm won't go off. And that's okay and completely fine. I've also made the assumption that alarms will be based on the local time of the user's phone. And the reason that I made this assumption is because I don't want to have to handle time zone changes, so I've listed that as out of scope. How did my PRD compare to the one that you wrote?